by EasySportsData.com. The books use data, shouldn't you too? And this is Easy Sports Data, like the preschoolers use. EasySportsData.com.
I win here and I win there. Now what?
Sports Betting Weekly.
I want to win!
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
You should also check out SportsBettingLessons.com. You'll learn some old tricks because sometimes how you bet is more important than who you bet. SportsBettingLessons.com.
Let's just do it. Let's meet this thing head on. You were in it to win it. Talk about an education.
Sports Betting Weekly.
Wow, winning.
Sports Betting Weekly.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Welcome to Sports Betting Weekly. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, but the first thing I want to do is get to live action because that's what we do, and we seem to do it well. So we're going to go and get our guest here. It looks like we got John from GMF Sports joining us, and we've got Jonathan from the Vegas Insider joining us. So we're going to talk to our newest guest real quick before we get to John from GMF Sports. Jonathan, do you have any action right now as we speak on any games that have started already?
Yes, I got a nice little over in the Memphis and Navy game. I think I got 55. I locked it in. Just two offenses that can score, two defenses that really can't stop anybody. The one downside to this game is that the Navy offense runs that triple option, a lot of running, a lot of clock continually running. That's where we get in kind of trouble. But based on the last three games offensively, I didn't think we put up enough points. Memphis is going to put up points quick. I think the over is a nice play here.
Yeah, well, you know, you're right in my brain because I've got the team total for Memphis over. The only concern, of course, is Navy has these 14-play drives, and sometimes they score, sometimes they don't. I just need my team on the field if I got a team total over. That's how I bet it. But as you know, Navy will break some of those 45, 50-yard runs in the middle of the game, and that'll get the ball back to the team. I actually have a Memphis shirt I normally wear. I'm repping the Sports Betting Weekly colors today, but normally I have my Memphis shirt when I have Memphis action. Pretty sure if they cover the first half and cash the team total for the first half, I'll be popping that shirt out after the show. So let's get over to John from Sports and Films. We're going to ask you the same thing. Do you have any plays in games that have already started?
Nothing that already started, but I actually just kind of keyed in on this. We're going right. We just ended the first period in the Carolina Blue Jackets Islanders game. Blue Jackets are at home and they're winning 2-1, but I actually like the Islanders plus 1.5 here. At some books, you can probably get them at almost plus money now. So I kind of like that. I'm not sure when I just looked at it probably about 3 minutes ago. I think it was plus 110 for plus 1.5 on the Islanders. And I think that's pretty good. You're looking at Islanders who were obviously a playoff team. They played very well last year. So, it's always tricky. NHL, obviously, first game of the season, first week of the season. A lot of these guys are kind of getting their skate legs underneath them, so to speak. But let's make a play with some good value at plus money here.
Well, yeah. What were they when they started the game? What was the odds?
They were pretty. I think Carolina was a slight favorite. I can't really remember the odds off the top of my head, but they were a slight favorite there at home. The Islanders were getting plus money. So obviously when they went down by a goal, that's why they continued to get more plus money on top of that coming down. But they just got off the first period, so we're going into the second. So
a lot of action. Actually, the 2-0 in the Blue Jackets, 2-1 in the Hurricanes, 2-0 in the Sabres, 3-0 in the Senators.
Yeah, you see some scores up already.
No doubt, because almost all of those are 1.5s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are gonna do that. So here's where we're at. We've got John from GMF Sports Consultants, Jonathan from I call him Jonathan from San Antonio. So I can get to call you whatever I want. I'm the host. But we've known you for so long now. That's my phone knows you as that. But tell us where you're showing your picks online right now. It's Vegas Insiders, correct?
VegasInsider.com is where I kind of put my plays up. Can you hear me?
Yep. Now you've I know
VegasInsider.com.
You've done a lot of sports, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm really the only one I don't really handicap well is going to be hockey or soccer. I kind of tell some guys that may know a lot more than me, and all because it's hard to not bet any action when you got hockey going on. But I don't know it personally. But other than that, basketball, football, baseball, like I'm relatively well rounded.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And like I said, we've been talking for years now. So I haven't. I was actually. I told you, right? I hooked you up when I was in San Antonio. That was that was the last time that my van was running smooth. I was in San Antonio. Well, we were leaving for Houston early in the morning, and it was one of those just, oh my goodness, Texas rain.
You were
Texas
going,
rain.
yeah. You were going to a card show.
Oh, in Houston. Yep, we're going to the Houston Car Show, and that brings me to another thing that's on my list. John from GMF, John from GMF Sports. We're going to be doing a Vegas. We're going to do a Vegas travel section today because we've got the Las Vegas Card Show is next week in Vegas. I'm not sure if you heard about that, John.
I have not heard about it, but
you know where the expo is? The World Center Market. Do you know where the expo at World Center Market is?
I know exactly where that is. That's going to be downtown on the Fremont Street area. So you're going to be off of the Strip. So you're a little bit downtown. You're going to see a little bit of the Fremont area, which if you haven't been, I like it. You get more of a local, better feel compared to.
Oh, I love it too. Love
the Strip.
it.
So
love it. Yeah. But so they're having the card show, and we're going to talk about that later on. And then I did the only thing that I have live is the mentioned the Memphis bets that I mentioned, but Jonathan had mentioned something about tailing people. Well, you know me, guys. I got 11 to 12 of you I tail every single week. And Paulo gave me a couple winners, but then in the very late game, then these are World Cup qualifying games. The game was nothing, and we put in that they would score. So it didn't matter who. The total was 0.5, and it was like +6 something because there's the game's almost ending. Well, then they said there's going to be 8 minutes of extra time. So now we got 8 minutes. We just need somebody to score. They score a goal. So I'm all excited, right? Because that's a nice hit. That's like a three-teamer. And then they take it off with video review. And I think to myself, I just don't get a lot of video reviews that go, whether I'm handicapping, whether I'm following one of you guys, whether it's a sport I know, whether it's a sport I don't know. When the referees get involved, they almost never, ever ends up well for second half Jazz. I just don't know what it is about it. So they took it off the board, so that cashed out. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. And that's what this show is. This show, to be determined. We do it. We're going to do it every other Saturday for a while because football season is so busy. But do you know that Wes went 2-2 on his CFL picks, John? I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that from last week?
I did not. No.
That was it. They were the only two losers on the entire show. Wow. Mo went 7-0. Charles from San Diego went 3-0, and Hector with Soccer Time went 3-0. They went 11-0. No, whatever that number. I think 13-0 between them. So we were 15-2 in picks on the show. And none of those were mine. But guess what? I hit a 7. I hit a 3-teamer in soccer. I hit another 3-teamer, and Baltimore cost me a lot of money. I hedged a little on the other side of the Colts. The Colts team total, you've heard me. If you watch the show, you've heard me say that the Colts team total has been winning us money. So the kind of week I had is I've been really, really busy. So I'm not doing the Saturday show, but I'm swamped with everything that I'm doing. So and John, you remember I texted you that yesterday. What happened was we had a situation where I'm watching the American League Baseball game, but I can't find the odds or anything because I'm watching a replay and I don't even know it. So then I realize it's a replay for me. And what I do is I go over and I look on the TV for my San Francisco Giants game because earlier in the day I said, I'm so swamped. Let me get my bet in early. And I bet that game thinking it was yesterday. So I went from watching an American League game that wasn't there to watching looking for a National League game that wasn't there to finding out that Coinbase, who I use for Bitcoin, they had something happen with their account and Now my account is frozen. It's not that I did. It's just that they had an outage or something. So my account is frozen. So now I can't put any Bitcoin into any of my accounts if I do lose the money that I left over from the hedging. So that was my week, and I'm tired, and it's only Thursday. And we've got a whole weekend of football ahead of us, and we're going to talk hockey too. So when Blackhawk West isn't here, he may make it. And Mo, I asked Mo to come on because I mentioned how well Mo did. Mo from the Mo Radio Show is live on a 10-teamer because those 7-0 he gave us, he hit 2 more. He hit Sunday night. He had the Colts, and it's key to tonight's game, and he did that by mistake. He didn't mean to bet tonight's game at a 10-teamer, and he did, and he hit every single one up to now. It pays. Are you ready for this? It pays plus 45036. It's plus 450 to 1. Is that amazing?
A lot of numbers.
That's a lot of numbers. So we're hoping he's going to show up as well. So what we're going to do for right now is we're going to start with we're going to keep an eye on the live wager. So the Colorado, that's something that I think because it's the end of the first. They got how long, John? And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go John and Jonathan. John and Jonathan. So the Jonathan J.
Makes it easy. Yeah.
Triple J Sports is how we used to talk to him too. John, how long is the hockey in between, the intermission between two periods?
You want to know what? That's a good question. I know there's a set time. I don't know if it's 10 minutes, 12 minutes.
Yeah, but it has to be, right? They have to have a set time.
I think it's like 15 maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right, so Memphis now has another 14. So now Jonathan, you're up to 21. You're up to 21 points.
Well, it's 21-0?
No, it's 14-7.
That's perfect. We need both to score. We need both to score and quick. And
it is so hard to win an over bet.
Oh,
when one team doesn't help.
Oh, 100%. Really. And with the way Navy offense runs, they're down 21-0. They still are going to play their same offense. They're not going to try to – they're not going to – they're going to still run the ball. They're still going to have a 10-14 play drive. So with them in the game is perfect for me because that means that both teams can keep scoring.
No doubt. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm looking at – and it looks like maybe they've started because it just went off the board. But that New York Islanders to win the hockey game, right, was plus 2 something now, John.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. They should be, to win probably plus 2 something. I think the 1.5 is probably like plus money at one time.
Yeah. Product not yet rated.
All right, so let's do that, and we'll get back there, and we'll see if it comes to play. And then we're if we don't hear from Blackhawk West, and you want to bet Canadian football, I'm going to let you know that the first game is tomorrow night. 6:00 my time, 9:00 Eastern time. So we'll have plenty of time. Blackhawk and Wes and I will have plenty of time to go back and forth on social media and give you those plays. Soccer, who was Hector from Soccer Time. Really, I think he's been out 3 weeks. He picked the week he picked a couple draws. He lost. Otherwise, he didn't lose. I think he was 8-1 in those other weeks. But remember, soccer games, a lot of times, because you're betting with the draw, those favorites are all minus 200. All minus 200. So you've got to be ready to win at soccer. You have to have a bigger bankroll than normal. But man, I'm telling you, it's a great sport to bet. I'll be betting until the day the Lord takes me home because during the pandemic, soccer was there for me. And I'm going to be there.
Soccer was there for us. That's right.
All right. So Jonathan from San Antonio, any contest you're in this year? Because we haven't had John since we started this season.
I am in the Circa Millions contest there in Las Vegas. And quite embarrassingly, I did it. I'm getting married in November. And so I did it. I signed up. I had my bachelor party in Vegas. And so I thought, great idea. Let me sign up. 2 birds, 1 stone. Don't do that because I actually ended up not getting any plays in week 1. Oof. I'm started way behind the 8 ball there, and it's more disappointing because I would have gone 4-1, and I would be well up to the top right now because I've won 3 to 5 every single week after that. So it's one of those where I did it in the worst weekend possible, and I've learned a lesson. Next time it will not happen that way. But I am in the Circa Millions contest. I am doing relatively all right considering I missed an entire week. But that's the only one. Next year, I think I'm going to do the Survivor as well.
Yeah. So how was your last week, John?
The last week was good. We finished 3-1-1. We pushed on the Packers. The one lone loss was the Raiders, which probably in hindsight, if all the news would have came out a little bit earlier, I probably would have not picked that game, but it is what it is. But we had some good showings, obviously, with the other plays. Buffalo was the big nightcap winner that we capped off on the Sunday night when they beat Kansas City. So for the year, I'm actually at 17.5, 7-1 with the push. The leader at Circa has 22. So I'm about 4 games behind them so far. But, going 17-7, that's 68-ish% somewhere around there. So I'll take that.
22-3, right? They're 22-3, and you're 17.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, 17.5. They give you a half a point.
And a half.
So,
Makes sense. All right, so where we're at, we're going to take a break.
I'd be right with you if I got my week 1 in.
Yeah, and I've been there. Oh man, I have been there. I have been shut out in a contest and losing a week. That's when it was 16 weeks.
Yep.
Now it's 17 or 8. Or it's 17 weeks, and losing a week. Think of it. Just do the math. 1 out of 17. It's over 5% of your plays are useless. It's tough.
Yep.
So let's do this. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Card Show. You're listening to Sports Betting Weekly.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Setuha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Sports Betting Weekly.
You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. And you keep losing when you ought to not bet.
Sit back and enjoy the show.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Welcome back to Sports Betting Weekly. I am second half Chaz. We've got joining us tonight a couple guys. We've got a couple guys are going to be on hold for us. We're going to see if we can get the hear from Mo from the Mo Radio Show. He's live on a 10-teamer. He put a $5 bill on a 10-teamer at like plus 450 to 1. And
That's amazing.
He hit
That's
9 in
great.
a row. He hit 9 in a row.
Wow.
I think the biggest I hit a couple 7-teamers once where I hit both the first half and the game. I remember there was a UFC fight and the guys wanted to go out, and it was a Pac-10 game. I think it was when Colorado was rocking and rolling. They had a couple years, 3-4 years ago, where they were an offensive machine, and the game wasn't on at the bar. The UFC fight was on as well. I ain't leaving. And this is just the apps in the last few years. You can watch anything, anywhere.
Yep.
So I don't think I've ever even bet a 10. No, that's not true. With the to be determined, I have bet an 11-teamer because it was everybody's play from the show. John from GMF Sports Consultant, thanks again for joining us every week. Did you ever put in a 10-teamer?
Well, you see, in Vegas, normally they don't let you put in more than 8. You can do the 10-teamers, but they have them on those parlay cards, which I normally don't do.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, we have those football contests where you just pick the winners. And I actually went 15-0. There was no spreads involved. You just picked the winners. I actually did it last year.
There's a couple bars that do that too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no spreads involved, just straight out winners. And I actually did that last year for Station Casinos. I did it twice for stations. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I think the most I hit was like 6 or a 7-teamer myself.
Yep. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to get this spot run. So what it is there's the Las Vegas Card Show. And this company is My Teams and My Team Designs. And Pete, the owner of the company, and I are friends from the collectible circuit. But what they do, and when you see this, you won't even believe it with your own eyes. John, they take the names. Now, these are all licensed products. So they go to the Knights, and the Las Vegas Golden Knights tell them what names they can use. Take those names, and they make the logo for the T-shirt. So watch this. It's really incredible.
Are you into trading cards? Will you be at the Las Vegas Card Show October 22nd to October 24th at the Expo at World Market Center? Then stop by the My Team Designs booth and help make a wish. My Team Design is working with both the Golden Knights and the Raiders to help the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Hit their booth up for these exclusive limited edition designs, and all the proceeds from your $20 will be donated to Make-A-Wish. If you're in Vegas for the card show, go to the My Team Designs booth, help them sell out so the Knights and the Raiders will grant 70 new wishes for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, October 22nd to October 24th.
So you're talking about you get a T-shirt and you help make a wish for a kid. Golly gee, that sure seems like a no-brainer. But John, did you see the Knights logo?
I seen that. That was very good.
All of them.
But that's fantastic. Yeah,
it's amazing. They use all the names, and so like you can't on the Raiders one, you can't tell. Remember, the Golden Knights haven't been around long enough to have a lot of names, right? So theirs were more spread out. Well, the Raiders have been around forever, and I'm not sure if Gruden was on the list, to be honest with you. But so what happens, it looks just like the Raider logo. And as you get closer, and closer, you realize it's the names of all these great Raiders. Coolest thing ever. Check it out at the show. All right, so let's start with John. We're going to go like this. We're going to go from Jonathan to San Antonio. He's going to start. Then we're going to go to John. Then we're going to go to me. We're going to start with our newest guest and our longtime guest, then the host. A play. I want to play and a quick why. Any play, it doesn't matter what it is. From going forward, it could be for Monday night or tonight, Monday night. I don't care.
So, one, I'm gonna homer with the Giants, but we're not gonna give that play. I want the Giants to win. But I think the game that I'm looking at for college football, I'm gonna bet against the Aggies after that monumental, huge win against number 1 Alabama. They really showed out, best game of the year. However, now they go on the road against an improving Mizzou team that can put the ball, can score the ball. I just think this is a classic letdown spot. It's almost an automatic bet against them. They're -9.5. They just showed out against the best team in the country, and I still think Alabama's up there. I think I have Georgia winning it all, but Alabama's still top 3. I don't think they can repeat that performance, and they have a little letdown here at Mizzou.
I love the logic. What about you, John?
I'm gonna jump ahead to NFL, and kind of similar to what John was talking about, a letdown spot. I'm actually gonna jump on the Tennessee Titans. They're at home. They're playing the Buffalo Bills. Don't get me wrong. Buffalo is a phenomenal team. I'm not taking anything away from the team. Allen is playing phenomenal, but I think this is a letdown spot here. That number doesn't make sense to me, and I actually like Tennessee as home dogs and even outright winners in that game.
I'm coming back a little sooner. Now, obviously, if you got 17.5 points, so that's basically there's only 25 plays you've made. So you're 17.5 and 6.5. So I know you're very good with the NFL, but I'm coming back to Friday. So I'm bouncing even further back than that. Friday, why would I not keep at my Aztecs? They have a quarterback. They've got a running backs. They got defense. They're scoring. They've got one of the best records. As a matter of fact, the school, between their football team and their basketball team, who has been very, very good.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Yes.
Both of you guys are very good, knowledgeable basketball handicappers. They're in like the top 5 of combined wins. So there's somewhere they keep track of how many wins your basketball team has and how many wins your football team has and who has the most. And the Aztecs are right up there. They're playing San Jose State, who's had a tough season. They're getting beat up a lot. It is in San Jose State, but you know what? Every year that the Aztecs have made it into the top 25 in the last 5 or 10 years when they've been good, they've always lost the next week. So they didn't lose that week, so I'm hoping they broke that camel up. So that's
they broke the snag. They got the number ahead of the team now, you know. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I explained to my wife. You see, honey, see how the Aztecs have a number and the other team doesn't have a number? The Aztecs are supposed to win. They dominated for me, and that's where I'm at, guys. Before we get over to Jonathan for another play, I'm at a point in the year where I'm just going to keep betting the same teams till they beat me. What about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, same thing. For another play, I'm actually going to go against the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Browns, and instead of a let-down spot, I'm going to go with a turnaround spot. This is a game where I think they have to win. They had an impressive performance against the Chiefs in Week 1, but we kind of know the Chiefs aren't as good as they have been in the last couple of years, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But now we have a Browns team that really didn't perform against the Vikings, have just kind of got beat up. They face a team in the Cardinals undefeated, but if you look at the Cardinals' last couple games, they really haven't been that impressive. I think they're kind of getting figured out a little bit. Their defense has kind of struggled a little bit. Their offense has struggled a little bit. I think this is a spot. It's kind of I hate to say must win. We're in Week 6, right? But if you're the Browns, you definitely don't want to go 3-3.
No doubt. And you know what? If you are a Browns fan, you've got to feel very, very comfortable. You've got some pieces that are young and talented and obviously give a shit. These kids care. You could see it. You could see when teams are done. You could see when teams are done on the field. You guys know that. During a game, you can see when kids are done, when teams are done, even in the pros when they're done. But that Cleveland Browns team, they play hard all the way to the very end. That game that we watched was the Chargers game, right? Oh, my God. It was as exciting football as I have seen in a long, long time. No doubt.
That was a classic game. Classic matchup right down to the end.
Yep. All right. Talk to us, Sean, from GMS Sports.
I'm actually I'll do another in-play live game here because the Islanders just tied it up, started the second period, so they're tied now 2-2. So not only is my 1.5 still live, but I'm going to jump back on them to win the game now, which will probably be good odds. I don't have the odds in front of me, but I would imagine it's probably around even or still slight plus money. So I'm going to jump on that again.
I got plus 200 right on the nose when I did it.
Wow, look, that's great. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
Oh,
Plus
no.
Great value there. Yep.
I could go in the middle of that bet.
Yep. Yeah,
Really
we could. Yeah, I already got the 1.5 at plus money, so everything else is gravy from here on out.
Yep. All right, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to bounce over and get an update, and I think that what I can do is, I have Spectrum, and it's my third cable company since they all eat each other up. But I can go on and I can get live. So let's talk to Jonathan from San Antonio about Thursday Night Football tonight.
So I am actually, and I'm on my phone. I'm going to a birthday dinner, which is why I'm in a car right now. But I don't have the score ahead of me. But I am going to be on the Eagles in a surprising move. I think the Buccaneers are good. They're going to be there at the end of the year. However, I have seen their defense a little susceptible to giving up points. They gave up 25, 26 against the Falcons. They gave up 24 against the Dolphins with second-string quarterback. They're scoring a bunch, but they are giving up points. And I believe that we have an opportunity here to keep up with them. I don't think they're going to win the game by any means, but I do think that they keep up with them. Maybe down 7, get a field goal, maybe a late push or backdoor cover, that kind of situation. And I really haven't been impressed with the Buccaneers on the road, really. They faltered against New England, and I think they're just a much better team than New England. They won by 2. They're back on the road against a hostile environment. I'll take the Eagles to give me a cover.
Well, just so you know, I just turned it on, and Tom Brady went 5 for 6 for a touchdown and 60 yards on the opening drive, and they have a 7 or 6-0 lead. Remember, it's the NFL, so you can't just assume that extra point. How many kicks did we see miss Sunday?
It was amazing last week. These kickers have one job. How many? Crosby for the Packers. How many did he miss in that game? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, I was watching with my sons early, and the New England game.
That was one too.
New England scored and missed. Houston scored again and missed. It was a crazy day.
There was a stat. I think there was 13. I think combined missed kicks, missed field goals. Last week, which is just crazy for.
Well, kickers. Think about it. That's almost one a game every single.
That's one a game. Yeah, they have a prop bet where you can bet it, and the prop bet was set at 4.5. They went to 13. Wow. So if you think about it, that went way over. 3 times over.
Easy winner, no doubt about it. All right, so did we get to your next play? Well, no, we're not going to take the live play, John. The live play we're gonna sit on. Give us another future play, John from GMF Sports.
From GMF, another future play.
So the live play. We got the live play.
Okay, we got that.
Did you give us the odds? What the odds ended up being?
I think we got plus 200 money line, and then we got plus money on the 1.5 as well. Yep. Yeah.
So right now they're even money.
They're even. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So once they scored, it dropped from +2 to even money. So yeah, honestly, I got plus 200 and minus 142. If I bet 10 grand, I could go in there and make myself a quick $1,400 or $400.
Exactly. Yeah, you got some nice middle options there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for tonight's game, kind of similar to what John was saying as well. Tampa Bay relies on Tom Brady to throw. I mean, he's a leading passer, obviously in yards. They don't have much of a run game. Also, Tampa Bay is missing some significant pieces on the defensive end. Kind of give a ode to Wes, how he doesn't play those Thursday night games. You never know what's going to happen on a Thursday night game. Jalen Hurts is getting a little bit acclimated to playing in Philadelphia. They had that nice comeback that sort of in the second half against Carolina, so to speak, where they, were able to compete in that game. So yeah, it's going to be tough. Obviously the magic number 7 or 8. If you could get, Philly at 8, I like that number there. And then also the over, just because the over tends, the Bucks are 4-1 so far to the over this year. So you got to stick with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We got another field goal in the Navy game. I think it was off a turnover. So it's 14-10 Navy. So
wow, there you go.
Well, that's ticking, 14-10 Memphis. My bad, but that's ticking closer to that 55.
Exactly.
I personally, I need Memphis to score. I got 15.5. They got 14, so I need a field goal in the last 8 minutes to cover it for me. And then we'll see what happens. All right. So next on the list of things to talk about is we got to rotate the banners. I always forget to rotate the banners, so I got to check my phone and see if any of the guys have texted in, because the only two else that we would see tonight would be Mo to talk about his 10-teamer and Blackhawk West, who would fill us in on some Canadian football. So let me get the banners going here, and we'll check out John on Instagram. There's his Instagram post. So let me ask Jonathan from San Antonio, who's never been afraid to take a dog ever. Do you got any dog plays this week lined up this weekend? Oh, hold on. You were muted. Hold on. Yeah.
I think we're good.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with Mizzou. I really think Mizzou can win the game on the field. So I think that is a beautiful dog. You're getting +9. Money line's probably +340-ish, 350-ish. I'm so sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you get a 350-ish money line. I think that's a perfect play for you.
So let's do this. What we're going to do is, I understand the concept of you're getting married, you're at a birthday party. So we're going to let you go, but I want you to tell everybody about Vegas Insiders and how they
I appreciate you for having me. Next time I'll be at my house.
All right, we'll talk, buddy. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night, man. Good luck, bro.
You too, guys. Bye.
Okay, so no problem. You know, he's going to be newly married. We've been there. Look, remember
you got to do it. Yeah.
I remember you missed the show that time. It was your anniversary. We said, "What a smart." Not only is a good handicapper, he's a smart husband. You know. All right, so let's get back in terms of there go. Memphis just hit a big play. Memphis is at the 30s, at the 20s, at the 10.
Nice.
It's about a 70-yard touchdown pass. So that's good for Jonathan from San Antonio. And now he's been. I want to say we met Jonathan through another guy that's up in Reno. I forget his name off the top of my head. I apologize if it comes to me. But anyway, they're both young guys that were handicapped. And I say they were young guys. I've known them long. They're not young anymore. You know, I knew when they were kids. And
crazy how fast time flies. Right?
He's a real good handicapper. He's real good with baseball. I don't know if he's as good as you in baseball, but guess what? You could still be a good handicapper and not be as good as John from GMS Sports Consultants.
You're going to make me blush. You're going to make me
blush.
Well,
no, the bottom line is, I see, other people are putting out the media that shows where you are on the list. You're not the one putting that out. So obviously, if you're putting it out, your name's on top. You're fairly good at what you do, All right.
Thank you. We try.
Let's talk about the Circa. And again, I feel bad for him, but I've been there, man.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me actually a couple times before. One where I missed it, and then one where I didn't simply click the button, and you go back and you're like, "What happened?"
That
happens.
happened to me.
It happens.
When I stood, let's get back to where we're at. It's Sports Betting Weekly. If it's 8:37 in New York, you've got live action on the Islanders. You might have had it anyway. For heaven's sakes, you're in New York.
That's right.
I got him at +200, so I'm a happy camper. So what we on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We're on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. We're on the Sports Betting Channel. But when I visited last week with the guys from the Belly Up FantasySports.com, what I did is I went on and I entered their contest, and DraftKings Fantasy was so easy, but I never hit submit. And so early in the day, Sunday, my quarterback throws a touchdown. So I want to go see how it works and, how many points I got. And I had all red zeros. And I realized, and then when I tried to do it, sorry, the games have already started. You're out. So it happens. It happens. No doubt about it. Do you have of your 5? How many you have already?
I got 2 to 3 locked in. I'm waiting for some. Obviously, there's some COVID relations due to that Arizona Cleveland game and a couple other, questionables that I'm looking at. But I'm actually, I said it before, so I'm gonna double back on the Titans again. I hate betting against Buffalo. I just think Buffalo's due for a letdown spot here.
And that again, nobody's going 17-0.
Exactly. You got to start fading these teams sometime. Yep.
The thing is, which game are they going to let down where they don't cover?
Yeah.
And which game are they going to let down where they don't win? And they are not
Yep.
the same. They are not the same. Yep. I personally think, they could get beat by a New England, a team that they shouldn't lose to. They could get they probably aren't going to get, because they're playing these two teams twice. They're probably not getting beat by the Jets either time. Yep. I don't think they're going to get beat by Miami either time, but could they? Of course they could. Miami could beat somebody. They're a real NFL team. Not that the Jets aren't, but really the Jets aren't. And New England, you know what? Here's the thing. I think New England is going to go as far as that quarterback goes, because if he continues to improve and does well and he doesn't seem to make a lot of mistakes, John, and that's really what young quarterbacks do the most. They throw the ball in the other team's hands or put it on the ground,
Exactly. He seems very poised. People always talk about the Patriots and the Belichick system that they have in place, and he fits that mold. But he does. And if you watch that Texans game, the way he kind of composed himself, that I think was a turning around point, not only for him, but I think for the Patriots. And I think the team will rally around him because he put up a great performance. He's been putting up really good numbers his rookie year. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So let's go through the lineup, because I have watched an American League Major League Baseball playoff game for the second time and didn't realize it. I have looked for a San Francisco Giants game that I think is actually tonight, finally.
Yeah,
I've been action on it for a while now. So let's go through, because I haven't looked at these. We're going to start with Sunday morning. We got Miami at Jacksonville. It's funny because those are really two beautiful cities to live in.
Oh yeah.
Miami, Jacksonville's right on the Gulf there. But no thanks. I don't even want to look at that game. That's
the same here. No touch for me either way. Not
kind of game where once I have the Easy Sports Data in front of me, I might. If I see a team total, and that was the team total tonight. The trend tonight with Memphis was every single game they score 28 or more, and the over-under is 30.5, and Navy gives up 28 or more, and the over is 30.5. So I'm going to go with over 30.5. Of course, we've already cashed out for the first half, and we're in a good shape because we only need 10 points now to cash for the game. And as you know, you still got to wait around for your money, but it sure is nice being able to turn the game off because there's no more action for you. Minnesota at Carolina. that has the ability to be a real good football game. However, there are 2, 4, 6, 8 games that morning. It's not going to be on the list of any game that I'm going to watch. I will watch probably 4 of these, maybe 3 or 4 of these games, but that ain't going to be one of them. Minnesota, Carolina doing anything for you?
Yeah, no, that's not going to do anything for me either. You're talking about, a Carolina team who Sam Darnold's kind of coming back to earth a little bit. They're also without McCaffrey. We're still waiting to see, obviously what McCaffrey's status is going to be. And then on the flip side of that, I mean, Minnesota had that, crazy little heart attack game that they did against Detroit. I think they kicked a 50+ yarder at the end to win that. So yeah, just looking at that, no touch for me unless something pokes out at me last minute, but no touch for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, same thing with me. I know that Minnesota was involved with one of the games I had last week. That's the other thing. When you got 5 or 6 or 7 games over the course of the 3 days of professional football, you tend to kind of forget them.
Oh yeah.
But the Green Bay game was a crazy game because I had 2.5 points. Now they're at Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of game where I'll go back and I'll look and see, but Chicago, they've got a young kid. They're trying to make me an NFL quarterback, and it's not an easy place to learn on the job, is it, John?
No, not in Chicago. It's cold. Justin Fields, obviously, he has the makings of being really, really good. The thing is about the Bears, though, is a lot of Bears fans, first of all, they're going to question the coach. I don't think the coach is very likable among those Chicago Bears fans. And then, to be quite honest with you, I honestly don't know anybody on the offensive side of the ball besides Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. If you don't have playmakers, then you're going to be in a situation where it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So Green Bay covered for me last week.
Nice.
But it was a kind of, he left 7 points on the board, right?
Yeah, 3. He missed 3 field goals and whatever extra points.
Oh no, that's right. Because I went to the gym on that one. I mean, I was so glad I went to the gym, because if I had watched that game live, I would have had ulcers.
Oh, it was brutal. Like I said, after that game, I had him on Circa at 3. I was happy to take that push for Circa. So
yeah, no doubt about it. So I'll be looking at that game for sure. What I'll do with it, I don't know yet. Houston at the Colts. The one thing I know is the Colts team total, and you've heard it from me because I've been talking about it since like week 3, week 2. They keep going over for the total, and that was one of the things that really helped me. I hedged a little because I had so much money on Baltimore. I hedged a little on the Colts for the game, but I had the Colts team total over, and they cashed both the first half and the game, so that was good. So I'll pay attention in that game. The Rams at the Giants. Very interesting game here. This is the kind of game where, because the Rams are not consistent. I thought they would be more consistent. What's your take on the Rams right now? Not about the Giant game, but in general. 4-1.
You want to know what I think? The same thing. Everybody got overly hyped the first few games, and then when they seen kind of Matt Stafford kind of fumble a little bit, they kind of fell back to earth. But that's going to be the NFL. That's what happens. Unfortunately, you're going to have these off weeks for these quarterbacks. They ran into an Arizona team who was very good offensively. It put more pressure on Stafford that needed to be, and the defense just wasn't able to hold up against Arizona. So you have those questions. Also the run game. Where is their run game? They have some injuries. They have some guys kind of filling in, spotting out. No doubt they're talented at the tight end and the wide receiver positions, but you gotta, as moving forward, you need a run game.
Yeah, I agree. I was on the list. I raised my hand. I was on that list after that. He threw that one ball.
Yeah.
Long past what's the quarterback's name? I always forget these guys' names. I don't really care.
For the Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, Stafford. Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
He threw a beautiful ball. I fell in love. I fell in love with him. Rams are going to the Super Bowl, but so I will pay.
I mean, those first couple of games, it looked really good, but everything was clicking. But now, you also have to understand coordinators are getting in tape. They're reviewing all these formations, so they're making adjustments. So now it's the point is offensively, are you making these adjustments to what the defense is doing? Going into this week versus the Giants is a different situation. The Giants, unfortunately, have lost 2 of their stars on the offensive side of the ball, which is major. I'm surprised, to be quite honest with you, that the Rams aren't favored by more, just because I don't know who's going to be able to put up points for the Giants at this point. I have no idea.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to say at that game. I mean, it's 48.5. The line hasn't moved. It sure seems like unless the Rams change something, that game has underwritten all.
That screams a 13-3 in the first half type deal. And then, if the Rams are up by 2 or 3 scores, they're just going to kind of ground and pound, I think, in the second half, kind of get their whatever run game they got going. I don't think they're going to, let Stafford do too much if they're already up. But yeah, I agree on the under.
All right, Chiefs, again, we talked about it last week. The Chiefs were 1-whatever against the spread.
1-13 going back to last year.
Lost against the spread, and they were getting 2.5. I couldn't understand it, but I took the money. So don't get me wrong, I took the money. What about this week? Washington. Now, Washington, ironically, seems like they got off easier than Gruden did. Right? They went there to get the emails.
want to know what's funny is that you've been hearing about Washington, you've been hearing about Dan Snyder for years, and then all of a sudden Gruden gets fired, and now they're kind of just throwing that all under the bus back again. It makes you wonder, right?
And again, there's a couple organizations that I believe. Jacksonville's one of them. Washington's the other one. The Raiders are a third one. The ownership is horrible. It's never going to change. And they've proven they don't know how to run. You could run a Home Depot. You could run car dealerships.
Yeah.
You could run a paint store franchise guy that has 110,000 paint stores all over the country. Doesn't mean you can run a football team. And owner's bad, John. It trickles down real quick.
Yeah. I'm still surprised he's been there. Obviously, we all heard the stories, allegations. You know what I mean? Allegedly, let's sprinkle some allegedly is what's going on. But I mean, there's been, this has been going on for years. So I feel bad for the fans. Washington put up a good team last year. This year, not so much. So it's questionable. I would have to lean. You have to think at some point in time, KC gets this right. They're not going to continue to be this bad. The thing is that I think finally defenses caught up to Mahomes, and it's going to go back to the running game. They have Hilaire out, which was semi-respectable. You had to respect what he was doing, but he's out. So now there's no running game. So now everything's put on Mahomes once again. So
yeah, it's going to be tough. That game, though, you know what I would probably do? I would do the same thing I would do in most Kansas City games is no, I did not. I bet against them. I took Buffalo plus 4.5 in the second half of that game. Mm-hmm. But what I'm starting to notice too, John, is this is something that screams at you when you're reading the Easy Sports data cheat sheets that are available on bellyupfantasysports.com, is that if a team gets shut out in the second half, don't expect them to turn around and come back the first half and do well, because I've just seen too many times where something's broken. It's hard to go a whole game and get shut out.
Yeah,
you got to do something bad, and so will be interesting to see. I think the Chiefs did score, but they're not. He threw the ball into the ground, and don't get me wrong, it was rainy, but they couldn't stop Buffalo. They couldn't stop them. We were counting their drives. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. It took them 2 minutes to go the length of the field.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at Detroit. You know what? I really like what they're doing in Cincinnati. They're young, but they're exciting. I always think that a team that has speed and good quarterback play that goes to an indoor stadium has an advantage. And I think it might be more than 3.5 points here.
Yeah. It was close. I think that the question mark there is Burrow. He had the throat contusion. I don't know. I haven't really checked up on the status of his availability. So I think maybe that's kind of obviously a big X factor going into that game. But if he plays, obviously I hope he's doing good. The throat contusion doesn't affect his throwing arm. Yeah.
No, but if you were going into Kansas City, you're going to be using hand signals anyway. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how loud the crowd is going to be at the Lions game. They're 0-5.
Yeah. The crowds are going to get less and less. Relative area. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Cincinnati fans migrating there. Those Bengal fans, they get crazy. So especially with the team they got, like you said, Burrow. I mean, the wide receiver Chase is doing phenomenal. They seem like they haven't missed a beat back from their college days. It's impressive. They changed the culture, similar to what Cleveland Browns have done. You can kind of see the culture changing a little bit. So that's good. It's good to see those teams head in the right direction.
I agree. And this game in our family will be a trippy game. The Chargers at Baltimore, because the Chargers were Vicky's fan.
Great game. Another great game. You want to know what? The schedule doesn't really get any easier for the Chargers. If you look at who they've been lining up against week after week, they had KC. They had Cleveland Browns last week, which was an all-star classic game if you watch that. Now they come back to Baltimore, talking about, Lamar, who just had a phenomenal Monday night, outing in the second half. He played out of his mind that second half. So
I've learned another hedge thing. If you're going to hedge, here's how you hedge. You hedge the first half, because if you're right then you could double down on the
You can
second
double both.
money back. And I did not do that, but it will become a commandment. All right. So here's where we're at. We got a few minutes left in the show, but Mo is trying to get through to us. And if he gets through to us, we're going to go right to him.
Nice.
So John, tell us where we could reach you this weekend if we want to get your plays.
Oh, for me, just GMS Sports, like always. Hit me up on Instagram, the website, or you can always hit that little hashtag Bitly Cash Tickets. Come on, join the team for the weekend. We got college Saturday, NFL Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be cashing some tickets. All right, so we've got the Mo from the Mo Radio Show joining us. We've got just a couple minutes left. So we're watching a game that was your 10th team and a 10-teamer, correct?
We are.
And what did you do?
Well, after losing 3 10-teamers in a row and a 5-teamer the last 3 weeks, I cashed out.
Oh, you took the money. Nothing wrong with that. Now, what book are you in? That how did they offer it? When did they offer it to you?
I went DraftKings, and so after I won Monday night, they offered it to me. I waited a day to try to decide what I wanted to do. And then last night it went up to just over 600, and I called it a day and cashed it out.
So it does. They do. It's like a sales thing, right? They give you they lowball you.
Yeah. But had I not taken bad losses on cashing out a couple 10-teamers a couple weeks in a row, I probably would have kept it. But I picked this last game tonight by accident because since it was a Thursday night game, they grouped them together and I wasn't paying attention, and hit this game by accident, which sucked. But oh well.
No. Again, you basically hit 150 to 1 shot, dude. It's hard to complain too much. There's not a lot of sports bettors are going to sit around and say, poor Mo from the Mo Radio Show. He only got $600 for his $500.
Well, I'm hoping that the Tampa Bay takes care of Philly now, so I don't have to feel like crap tomorrow. But I closed out a 7-teamer too, so I did all right last week. All right.
Good for you. All right, Mo. Thanks for stopping in. We've got to make room for the loudmouths on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. But as always, you can follow us on the Sports Betting Channel, of course, the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and I will join Belly Up Sports Fantasy Friday nights going forward from 6:30 to 7:30 to discuss not only fantasy, which I'm learning. I've learned wrestling from Mo. I've learned hockey from Wes. I've learned baseball from John, and now I'm learning more things that my brain can handle. So do us a favor. Always be cashing.
Stay cashing. Good night.